In April 2025, the global automotive industry witnessed a strategic move that reflected the complex geopolitical and economic tensions of the 21st century. Tesla, a pioneer in the electric vehicle revolution, announced the suspension of new orders for its Model S and Model X in the Chinese market. The decision, seemingly technical, turned out to be a microcosm of a broader commercial battle between the United States and China, and also exposed the challenges faced by multinational companies in balancing local production, tariffs, and consumer preferences. The origin of this impasse dates back to March 2025, when the U.S. government raised tariffs on a range of Chinese products, including critical components for electric vehicle batteries, to 145%. Beijing's response was swift. On April 1st, China implemented a retaliatory tariff of 125% on cars manufactured in the U.S. For Tesla, this meant that its premium S and X models produced at the Fremont, California factory and in Tilburg, Netherlands, would see their final price more than double. Despite the media impact, the measure did not catch Tesla off guard. Internal data showed that in 2024, only 1,553 units of the Model X and 311 of the Model S had been sold in China, less than 0.5% of the company's total deliveries in the country. Tesla's Chinese strategy has always revolved around its Shanghai Gigafactory, inaugurated in 2019. The factory, which produces the Model 3 and Model Y, accounts for 52% of the company's global capacity and supplies, not only the local market but also Europe and Southeast Asia. In 2025, the price of a Model Y made in Shanghai was 40% lower than that of an equivalent imported vehicle, thanks to tariff exemptions and a localized supply chain. The competitive landscape deepened with the rise of Chinese brands such as BYD, NIO, and XPeng. BYD, in particular, surpassed Tesla in global electric vehicle sales in the fourth quarter of 2023, offering models like the Han EV, a luxury sedan with a 600-kilometer range and a price 30% lower than the Model S. Meanwhile, NIO captured the urban elite with its ET7, equipped with solid-state batteries and a battery swap system that could be completed in 3 minutes. For Chinese consumers, the decision between an imported Model S and a local rival was not just financial but also symbolic. In a market where 96% of electric cars sold in 2024 were domestically manufactured, the preference for national brands became an act of cultural identity. The withdrawal of the premium models, however, did not mean Tesla was retreating from China. On the contrary, the company invested $500 million in 2024 to expand Model 3 production in Shanghai, including an exclusive version for the local market, with an entertainment system integrated with WeChat and a voice assistant with a Shanghai accent. At the same time, Elon Musk maintained discreet dialogues with the Chinese government to accelerate approval of FSD, full self-driving, in the country, a crucial step for consolidating the brand's technological leadership. The geopolitical context added layers of complexity. Musk's visit to Beijing in April 2024, where he met with Premier Li Qiang, was interpreted as an attempt to distance Tesla's image from U.S.-China tensions. However, the CEO's statements in support of trade policies, free from artificial barriers, a veiled criticism of tariffs, were met with coolness by American lawmakers. The situation illustrated the dilemma of global companies: how to navigate conflicting loyalties in a fragmented world. For the high-income Chinese consumer, a traditional buyer of the Model S and X, the change was almost imperceptible. Dealerships in Beijing and Shanghai reported an immediate increase in interest in local alternatives, such as BYD S Yangwang U9, an electric supercar with 1,000 horsepower that accelerated from 0 to 100 km/h in 2.36 seconds. Loyal Tesla enthusiasts migrated to the locally made Model Y Performance, equipped with the same battery technology as the imported models. Economic analysts pointed out that Tesla's decision reflected a broader trend: the forced localization of production chains. Since 2021, the Chinese government has required foreign automakers to form joint ventures with local companies to access tax incentives. Tesla, initially exempt from this rule thanks to a special agreement, was now feeling the pressure. The planned expansion of a second factory in Shanghai, focused on lithium iron phosphate, LFP batteries, signaled an adaptation to this new reality. The episode also revealed cracks in Tesla's global business model. While the premium models suffered from tariffs in China, the Cybertruck faced cultural rejection in Europe due to its aggressive design, and semi-production was delayed by chip supply chain bottlenecks. The company, which once enjoyed an aura of invincibility, now had to navigate turbulent waters, where technological innovation alone was not enough to overcome political barriers. In the long term, the withdrawal of the Model S and X from China can be seen as a rational move to optimize the product portfolio. Data from Bernstein Research indicated that the profit margin per vehicle made in Shanghai was 18% higher than on imported models, even after deducting logistics costs. For shareholders, focusing on the most profitable products in a market that accounts for 33% of Tesla's global sales was simply common sense. Nevertheless, the symbolism of the moment did not go unnoticed. On an online forum for electric car enthusiasts, one user summed up the ambivalent feeling, "The future is electric, but it's not necessarily global." The phrase encapsulated an uncomfortable truth. Even in sectors at the technological forefront, national borders and geopolitical interests continue to shape companies' destinies. For Tesla, staying relevant in China, a market expected to reach 8 million electric vehicles sold in 2025, will require more than efficient batteries. It will demand corporate diplomacy as sophisticated as its self-driving systems. Meanwhile, on the streets of Shenzhen, the characteristic silence of electric cars was occasionally broken by the growl of a Porsche Taycan or the aerodynamic whistle of a NIO ET7. The Model S and X, once status symbols, gradually became relics of an earlier era, reminders that in the 21st century trade war, even disruptors can be disrupted. Still, Tesla pressed on, betting that its ability to reinvent itself locally would be the key to continuing to lead globally.